My girlfriend cheated on me with her ex and I don't know what to do. I'll start with some background information. I'm 31 years old and my girlfriend is 30. In July of 2019, we began conversing outside of Match.com. In late September, we became a couple for the first time. For a long period, everything was going swimmingly. I invited her to come in with me in February 2020, but she thought it was too soon, which I understood. We'd spend the majority of our evenings together anyhow, when our job schedules permitted. She works night shift as a nurse. She revealed immediately away that she had a man closest friend. I assured her I was all right with it, but I wondered if she ever saw anything there. No, she said. She says I never asked her this, but as someone with trust concerns, it's something I would have asked without hesitation. Nonetheless, a few months ago, I had a dream that we were at a party and it came to my attention that she had hooked up with someone I knew before we were together, but had never informed me. I knew it was only a dream, but I told her about it and asked if she ever hooked up with someone I knew, and she said no twice and that she would tell me that. We went on a date last week, and she stated at dinner that she and this buddy had a lot of H when they were younger, no S. This raised a red signal for me right away. I honestly didn't care that they used to H up. I cared that she lied to me about it many times. She said that one of her ex-boyfriends found out about it and told her not to speak to that friend again. That was the reason she didn't tell me. She didn't want to be without that pal. She said that the joking about had ceased some time ago and that they were now simply friends. That was something I thought she said. I conveyed my disappointment and said that I would never lie to her about anything like this. I've always mentioned she had 24-hour access to my phone if she had any questions. This is still true today. She said the same thing and stated that she had nothing further to conceal. I asked her if there was anything more that would irritate me so much that I needed to know about because I couldn't take any more of that anxiousness. She said that she had given it much consideration and that she had nothing further to say to me. We've arrived at yesterday night. We were okay and had a wonderful Mother's Day with my parents coming over for lunch. She had to work that night and was hurrying about since she had taken a snooze before her duty. She had left her phone at home. Given that I had been considering proposing to her, I needed confirmation that our relationship was in good hands. I took out her phone, which is clearly not good. I simply assumed that if I didn't find anything, everything would be okay and I'd have no trouble proposing to her. I just paid attention to two things: her messages with this acquaintance, as well as her photographs. She only texted this person a few times each month, and nothing was involved. But there were a few things that bothered me. First, every text they exchanged before we began chatting in July 2019 was wiped, and her text history with him ended precisely there. He also referred to himself as her best buddy in quotation marks. That implies they're not what they seem to be. She says it's because they don't chat much, which they don't, but it simply seems out of character for people who used to have fun. Then there were the photographs. I had lately inquired as to why she had so many text snippets in her photos. She went through a few, each with a different cause, but stopped after a few. I was actually interested in what they were, so I looked. There were screenshots of text up from several of her exes in addition to the handful she mentioned. They seemed to be breakup messages, based on what I can tell, which is a bad idea to retain, but that isn't the point here. I had a nervous breakdown after seeing two photographs of messages from her most recent ex in front of me, dated January 2020, 6 months after we began communicating, 4 months after we were formally a relationship. Both are the same dialogue, but they are too extensive to put on a single screenshot. He said that he was going somewhere enjoyable and did not want to invite her. She inquired as to why. He said that he did not want her partner to find out or seek her down, and that others could learn about her filthy little secret. She informed him that he enjoyed being her filthy little secret, and that she had just spent 2 days at his place, and that it was just where she wanted to be. She inquired if he was bothered by the fact that she had a boyfriend. He answered he didn't have a crystal ball when she asked whether he felt they had a future together. That was the end of the screenshot. I questioned her on the subject. She said that she was still conflicted at the moment. This ex had ghosted her before we met, and he returned while we were dating. She informed me last week that they were chatting when we were starting dating. To me, talking to someone is not the same as sleeping with them, and the first time they began dating was not 6 months ago. She claims she had completely forgotten the screenshots were on her phone. She claims that at this time, she loved me but was not yet in love with me. She said she didn't know what she wanted, but when she realized she wanted me, She ended her relationship with her ex for good. There was also the matter of the ex's daughter, to whom she became quite devoted. She became enraged and turned the situation around on me, claiming that it all occurred a year and a half ago, and that it shouldn't be a problem anymore. She stated she informed me she was dating him and that the specifics didn't important. I understand why she's upset that I looked through her phone, but I believe I had a solid cause to do so. I adore her and don't want to lose her, but I believe I'm nearing the end of my rope. She often expresses her want to marry and have children with me. I want it as well, but I don't want to be with someone who conceals everything. I'd appreciate it if anybody reading this could offer me some honest advice on what I should do, how I should manage things, or how I've handled things thus far. I'm completely lost right now. Sorry if I have a lot of language mistakes as well. My brain is simply not 100%. Please ask any other questions you may have. Story 2. I found out that my brother's wife cheated on him. My brother eventually revealed all of the information he had gathered from her phone. They have a 3-year-old kid, my nephew's name. While my brother was working in another nation, he was arranging visas for his wife and children. During that time, 2 years ago, when she was going for her mother's house with my nephew, she departed early, informing my family of a different flight schedule. We discovered that she was seeing her boyfriend before her trip, and that they were likely traveling together since they live in the same town. We discovered images of her lover's scratched back and torso, as well as his picture on her phone. We presumed she had with her lover in a hotel room while their kid, who was not even 2 at the time, slept in the same room. We also discovered that after she had her visa, she came with my nephew, but she was video calling her boyfriend as my brother left for work. At the same time, Mom used to discuss divorce with my brother every other week. When she persuaded my brother to let her return to her own country and beg for money, which he gave. She departed on a vacation with her boyfriend and my nephew, who was now 3, after visiting and staying with us for a bit. My brother, feeling something really wrong, decided to return as well. She panicked as he began gathering evidence and fled to her mother's house, which was in a different state. She was still going on dates with her beau. She went insane when my brother informed her family that she had cheated on him, denying the charges, putting her pals on the position, and forcing them to speak falsehoods. When my parents went to see their grandson, they observed how emaciated he had grown. They were received by her angry relatives, who scolded my parents and told them the worst things imaginable. When my brother discovered that she had not 1, but 2 affairs, one with someone close to her family, he informed her family. She went on and texted me about how we had stolen money from her, which we never did, as well as messages referring to the females in my family as WH'ing and other expletives and threatening to destroy our life. I discovered that she had repeatedly contacted and texted my mother. My mother, on the other hand, was not aware of the calls since she is not technologically adept, and I'm relieved she did notice. Of course, all of this had a significant impact on my family. I could sense sadness in my brother's voice as he told us everything. My mother was taken aback since she had never been insulted in such a way before. My father was astounded as well, and became hostile in her comments towards her. However, we had to calm him down. It was also a major surprise to me. I had trusted her, I had assisted her when she had little arguments with my parents, and I had refused to believe my own mother when my brother's wife assaulted my mother's foot. When my father called the cops, I shielded her, but my mother decided to withdraw the complaint. I protected her since she was going through the immigration procedure and a police record would prevent her from traveling. After that occurrence, my parents did not trust me for a long time. But once she returned to her own family, I learned more about her deceptive behavior. My unfortunate brother had to return from a very well-paying job. My family is now attempting to understand the laws as well as how to cope with a dishonest, cheating, manipulative lady, and how I may get custody of my brother's kid. What hurts the most is not being duped. What the poor kid would have to go through is what saddens the most. He can't even talk correctly, much alone understand what's going on around him. The questions he will have to answer in the future. I really don't want him to be psychologically harmed, but I'm worried the damage has already been done.